Hi, I'm Alex and today I will show you how you can build your own flashlight with our critical making box. This flashlight was developed further and adapted as part of the critical making project. Critical making is a fun and creative way to think about solving problems and making things. When you are doing critical making, you are not just making something for fun or for show, you are also thinking about the world around you and how you can make it better. With this flashlight kit, we created something for you to learn about critical making. For example, think about how important and powerful it is to have electric light available. That's why we will tinker together today and build a small flashlight from few and simple materials. Let's take a closer look on how it will look when it's finished. Every great project requires parts, materials and tools. In the kit, we provide you with everything you need to build your flashlight. Circuit board, copper tape, an LED, coin cell, screws and nuts, and sticker foil. What's not included but might be handy are scissors and a screwdriver. So, what's actually a circuit board? A printed circuit board, short PCB, is a substrate which carries and connects electronic components. Today, PCBs can be found in almost all electronic products, like for example, in this hard drive. They are usually green and hold many tiny components and have lines connecting them. For our flashlight, we use a laser-cut wood part as a base board. But there is something else we need to turn it into a circuit board. We need something to create electric connections between the components on the board. On a PCB, the connections are created by thin lines of copper. We will use copper tape to create the circuit on our board. Now let's have a look at the components we need to connect. You probably already heard about LED lights. LED is short for light-emitting diode, a component which can turn electric energy into light. These are a great invention because they are much more energy efficient. They consume more than 10 times less energy to produce the same brightness as old light bulbs. They are also much smaller and easier to use. We also use a white LED for our flashlight. It looks like a small bulb with two legs. It only produces light if the current flows through it from one direction. The length of the leg are different. So you know which side is which. The way you put in the LED in is called polarity. That just means there is a positive and a negative end to the LED, and yet you need to connect them to the right parts of the device you are using. We will show you how to connect the LED in your flashlight in a later step. A coin cell is a small round battery that looks like a coin or a button. It is called a coin cell because it's shaped like a coin. They are used in many small devices like watches, remote controls, and some toys. The battery works by storing energy inside of it. When you use a device that has a coin cell, the energy from the battery powers the device, so it can do its job. In our case, it lights up the LED of the flashlight. Like an LED, a battery also has a polarity, a positive and a negative side. On coin cells, usually only the positive side is marked with a plus sign. Right, let's bring everything together. An electric circuit is a path that electricity can flow through. It's kind of a riverbed in which the water flows, but instead of water, it's electricity that flows along the path. A circuit is made up of a few different things. There's a power source, which in our case is a coin cell, that gives you the electric energy. There's also something called a load, which is a device that uses the electricity. Here we use an LED as a load. Finally, there are wires, in our case copper tape, that connect the power source and the load together. Think of wires like the riverbed that the electricity travels in. When everything is connected in the circuit and the wires make a complete path, the electricity can flow from the power source to the load. We can use a switch to connect and unconnect the circuit. This is how we can turn our flashlight on and off. Now let's start with building our flashlight. Remove the wooden parts from the frame. You need these 4 parts. You can scrap the leftover parts in the frame, or better, recycle them in a future project. Now we will begin to prepare the electric connections by sticking the copper tape to the boards. The size of the copper tape pieces you need are indicated on the wooden part. I already prepared the pieces for this demonstration. Let's start with the bottom piece. It's the one with the most markings. Either tear or cut off pieces from the copper tape and attach them at position 1 and 2. The copper tape is self-sticking, and you just have to remove the protective foil. Sometimes this can be a bit fiddly, and the copper tape sometimes tend to curl up, so take your time. When you successfully attach the tape to the wood, stroke along it and firmly press it onto the wood to make sure it sticks properly and is flat. Let's add the LED. It has 2 legs with different length. The long leg is positive, the short leg is negative. Slightly bend the short leg like it's indicated on the wood part. Now place the LED on the wood and press the legs down on the copper tape from the previous step. Now fix both legs with additional copper tape. Pay attention to the markings on the wood. There should be no connections between the 2 legs of the LED. The next step is easy. Just put some copper tape on position 6. It will connect the negative side of the battery to the negative leg of the LED. Continue with the lid and put copper tape on position 7 and 8. It will connect the positive side of the battery to the switch. Now let's prepare the switch. Take a piece of copper tape and cut it in half. Wrap copper tape around the edge of the switch. This step actually has nothing to do with the electric connection, but improves how the switch slides. Now wrap copper tape also around the switch, so you don't see the number marking 9 anymore. Now, since everything is prepared, we can start assembling the flashlight. Put the screws through the holes of the bottom piece. Add the middle part, as you can see it here. The orientation is important. Put the switch and the battery in their places. The positive side of the battery, marked with a plus, should face you. Finally, add the lid and screw the nuts on the screws. Don't fasten them too much, because it will make it harder to move the switch. Last but not least, well, the flashlight looks a bit plain, doesn't it? Go ahead and decorate, modify and improve it with whatever you can find. We put some sticker foil into the box and well, maybe you can start with that one and add some eyes. Now your flashlight is finished, but please don't stop there. The best part about critical making is that there are no rules. You can improve your flashlight with what you have available or reuse the materials to build something else if you don't need it anymore. Maybe you have another project you want to incorporate it into. You can use any materials you want, and there is no right or wrong way to do it. You can experiment and try new things until you find what works best for you. The flashlight should just serve as a starter. So if you like to build, create, and imagine, critical making is the perfect way to put your skills to the test and make a difference in the world.